All right, everybody, welcome back to another deep dive with me, and you got it.
Yeah.
That's right, you're back.
I am.
We're going to dive into something a little bit different today, something a little more lighthearted.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so we are going to take a look at a short story all about this guy named Dave who goes camping.
All right.
And, well, let's just say that his expectations of his camping trip might have been a little bit different than the reality.
Interesting.
So Dave's this self-proclaimed city dude.
Okay.
Right? He's heading off on this solo camping trip. He's got all this gear.
Right.
He's got his beef jerky packs. He's got his, app for looking at the stars. He's ready.
Yeah.
He's expecting the crickets to lull them to sleep.
Yeah, the whole romantic vision of
the whole 9 yards. Yeah, exactly.
Little symphony.
But what do you think about that? When we as humans go out into nature with all these expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there is sometimes a huge disconnect between our romanticized view of nature and then what it's actually like.
Totally. And nature doesn't really care about our plans.
Exactly. Nature is just going to do what it does.
It does its own thing. And so, as a case in point, the first thing that happens to Dave is he has this encounter with a raccoon.
Oh, boy.
And this raccoon is clearly not afraid of Dave at all.
So this is one of those things where it's like you said, nature has its own agenda.
Right.
And the raccoon, I think, really highlights that.
Totally.
I mean, Dave's over there, staring at the stars, thinking everything's nice and peaceful, and all of a sudden, bam, his beef jerky's gone.
Gone.
The raccoon's staring him down like a mob boss.
Oh, yeah. The story says that he was, staring him down like a mob boss.
Yeah. It's kind of hilarious.
So funny.
But also it's like, oh, okay, this isn't a cartoon animal. This is a wild animal.
It's a wild animal with its own,
Totally.
It's got its own idea.
It's got its own ideas.
This is its turf.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's just the beginning for Dave. So the next morning, he's by the creek.
Okay.
He's brushing his teeth.
Oh, right.
Probably thinking he's some,
like Bear Grylls or something.
Bear Grylls, right? He's living the fantasy.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere,
oh, no.
a fish jumps out of the water and whacks him right across the face.
Oh, my God.
I know.
No way.
And the story describes it as a whack sound.
Wow.
Like a real,
a fish clap.
Fish laugh. Yeah, and so he's just standing there.
Okay.
Toothpaste everywhere, just what just happened?
So nature's giving him a wake-up call.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like a reality check.
Yeah.
But of course, the fish is completely unfazed.
Oh, yeah. The fish is just back to its day.
Back in the water.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Like what?
Yeah, but remember how Dave was all about reconnecting with nature?
Right.
Well, by the end of this trip, nature has pretty much moved into his tent.
Oh no, what happened?
So Squirrel gets in there.
Oh.
And the story describes the squirrel chattering away in the tent.
Okay.
Like it was paying rent.
It's got squatters' rights.
I know.
It's pretty bold.
I mean, the audacity of this squirrel.
Yeah.
Right? This is my space.
Yeah, exactly.
And the poor guy, he's just trying to get this squirrel out of his tent.
Okay.
And the squirrel throws an acorn at him.
He is being bullied by nature.
I know, he's getting bullied by this squirrel.
Wow.
So defeated, he packs up all of his stuff.
Right.
Goes back to the city. Okay. And he says nature's a freaking gangster.
That's hilarious.
I know, but it's funny. But it also makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had an experience where you went out into nature and things didn't really go the way you expected?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, I think that happens to everybody. I've definitely had sudden, downpours.
Yeah.
And I've had some pretty, interesting encounters with wildlife.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Just coming across, certain animals that maybe I wasn't really expecting to see.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is their space. I'm just visiting.
Yeah, exactly. And those moments could be really, humbling.
Definitely.
They remind us that we're not always in control.
Right. And that nature is powerful.
Absolutely. So do you think that Dave could have done anything to, avoid these mishaps?
I mean, maybe a little bit of research could have helped.
Yeah.
Knowing what kind of wildlife to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think some level of chaos is just part of nature.
That's true.
You can't control everything.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So maybe it's kind of the price of admission.
Maybe it is.
When you're going into the wild.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for anything.
Exactly. All right, so that is our deep dive.
I enjoyed that.
Me too. A little something different.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Very lighthearted.
But also, maybe a little something to think about.
Yeah.
Next time you're planning your own adventure.
I'm
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.